Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, my beautiful hot messes. My name is Mistress Lavender, and today I'm reading The Artist Seduction by Robert Greene. I'm on page 174. Before we begin, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn your post notifications on. Girl, I am hairy. Anyways, let's start. Chapter 21, give them space to fall. The pursuer is pursued. If your targets become too used to you as the aggressor, they will give less of their own energy, and the tension will slacken. You need to wake them up, turn the tables. Once they're under your spell, take a step back and they will start coming after you. Begin with a touch of aloofness, an unexpected non-appearance, a hint that you are growing bored. Stir the pot by seeming interested in someone else. Make none of this explicit. Let them only sense it, and their imagination will do the rest, creating the doubt you desire. Soon they will want to possess you physically, and restraint will go out the window. The goal is to have them fall into your arms of their own will. Create the illusion that the seducer is being seduced. Since humans are naturally obstinate, and will and willingful creatures and prone to suspicions of people's motives, it is only natural in the course of any seduction that in some ways your target will resist you. Seductions then are rarely easy or without setbacks, but once your victims overcome some of their doubts and begin to fall under your spell, they'll reach a point where they start to let go. They may sense you are leading them along, but they are enjoying it. No one likes things to be complicated and difficult, and your target will expect the conclusion to come quickly. That is the point. However, you must train yourself to hold back. Deliver the pleasurable climax they are so greedily awaiting. Succumb to the natural tendency to bring the seduction to a rapid end, and you will have missed an opportunity to racket up the tension, to make the affair more heated. After all, you don't want a passive little victim to toy with you. You want the seduced to engage their will in all its force, to become active participants in the seduction. You want them to pursue you, hopelessly ensnaring themselves in your web in the process. The only way to accomplish this is to set back and only make them anxious. You have strategically retreated before, see chapter 12, but this is different. The target is falling for you now, and your retreat will, sorry, I got a cash app. That's why I did that. And your retreat will lead to panicking thoughts. You are losing interest. It is. The target is falling for you now, and your retreat will lead to panicky thoughts. You are losing interest. It is somehow my fault. Perhaps it is something I have done. Rather than think you are rejecting them on your own, your targets will want to make this interpretation. Because if the cause of the problem is something they have done, they will have. Hold on, I have to respond to that. Hold on. You know, I got two phones. Hold on. Let me put in my savings. You know what I'm saying? Transfer in. Hold on. There we go. I love when I get happy. Anyways, okay, let's continue. Rather than think you are rejecting them on your own, your targets will want to make this interpretation. Because if the cause of the problem is something they have done, they have the power to win you back by changing their behavior. If you are simply rejecting them, on the other hand, they have no control. People always want to preserve hope. Now they will come to you, turn aggressive, thinking that will do the trick. They will raise the erotic temperature. Understand a person's willpower is directly linked to their libido, their erotic desire. When your victims are passively waiting for you, the erotic level is low. When they turn pursuer, getting involved in the process, bringing with tension and anxiety, the temperature is raised. So raise it as high as you can. When you withdraw, make it subtle. You are instilling unease. Your coldness or distance should draw on your targets when they are alone, in the form of a poisonous doubt creeping in their mind. Their paranoia will become self-generating. Your subtle setback will make them want to possess you, so they will willingly advance in your arms without being pushed. This is different than the strategy in chapter 20, in which you are inflicting deep wounds, creating a pattern of pain and pleasure. There, the goal is to make your victims weak and dependent. Here it is to make them active and aggressive. Which strategy you prefer to use, the two cannot be combined. Depends on what you want and the proclivities of your victim. Each gender has its own seductive lures, which comes to them naturally. When you seem interested in someone but do not want to respond sexually, it is disturbing and presents a challenge. They will find a way to seduce you. To product this effect, first reveal an interest in your targets, though through letters or subtle insinuation. But when you are in their presence, assume a kind of sexless neutrality. Be friendly, even warm, but no more. You are pushing them into arming themselves with the seductive charms that are natural to their sex, exactly what you want. In the latter stage of the seduction, let your targets feel they are becoming interested in another person. This is another form of taking a step back. When Napoleon Bonaparte first met the young widow Josephine de Beauharnois in 1795, he felt excited by her exotic beauty and the looks she gave him. He began to attend her weekly soirees, and to his delight, she would ignore the other men and remain by his side, listening to him so attentively. He found himself falling in love with Josephine, and had every single reason to believe she felt the same. Then, at one soiree, she was friendly and attentive as usual, except that she was equally friendly to another man there, a former aristocrat. Like Josephine, the kind of man that Napoleon could never compete with when it came to manners and wit. Doubts and jealousies began to stir within. As a military man, he knew the value of going on the offense, and after a few weeks on the swift and aggressive campaign, he had her all to himself, eventually marrying her. Of course, Josephine, a clever seductress, had set it all up. She did not say she was interested in another man, but his mere presence at her house, a look here and there, subtle gestures, made it seem that way. There is no more powerful way to hint that you are losing your desire. Make your interest in another too obvious, though it could backfire. This is not the situation in which you want to seem cruel. Doubt and anxiety are the effects you are after. Make your possible interest in another barely perceptible to the naked eye. Once someone has fallen for you, any physical absence will create unease. You are literally creating space. Your absences at this latter point of the seduction should seem at least somewhat justified. You are insinuating not a blatant brush off, but a slight doubt. Perhaps you could have found some reason to stay. Perhaps you're losing interest. Perhaps there's someone else in your absence. Their appreciation of you will grow. They will forget your flaws, forgive your sins. The moment you return, they will chase after you as you desire. It will be as if you had come back from the dead. According to the psychologist Theodore Rake, we learn to love only through rejection. As infants, we are showered with love by our mother. We know nothing else. But when we get a little older, we begin to sense that her love is not unconditional. If we do not behave, if we do not please her, she can withdraw it. The idea that she will withdraw her affections fills us with anxiety. And at first with anger, we will show her. We will throw a tantrum, but that never works. And we slowly realize that the only way to keep her from rejecting us again is to imitate her, to be as loving, kind, and affectionate as she is. This will bond her to us in the deepest way. The pattern is ingrained in us for the rest of our lives. By experiencing rejection and coldness, we learn to court and pursue to love. Recreate this primal pattern in your seduction. First, shower your targets with affection. They will not be sure where this is coming from, but it is a delightful feeling, and they will never want to lose it. When it does go away, in your strategic step back, they will have moments of anxiety or an anger, perhaps throwing a tantrum, and the same childlike reaction. The only way to win you back, to have you for sure, will be to reverse the pattern, to imitate you, to be the affection giving one. It is the terror of rejection that turns the tables. This pattern will often repeat itself naturally in an affair or relationship. One person goes cold, the other pursues, then goes cold in return, making the first person the seducer, and on and on. As a seducer, do not leave this to chance. Make it happen. You are teaching the other person to become a seducer, just as the mother in her own way taught the child to return her love by turning her back. For your own sake, learn to relish this reversal of roles. Do not merely play at being the pursued, but enjoy it. Give into it. The pleasure of being pursued by your victim can often surpass the thrill of the hunt. The pomegranate. The symbol of the pomegranate. Oh, I love pomegranates. Carefully cultivated and tended, the pomegranate begins to ripen. Do not gather it early or force it off the stem. It will be hard and bitter. Let the fruit grow heavy and full of juice, then stand back. It will fall on its own. That is when the pulp is most delicious. Ooh, I love pomegranates. Anyways, I'm going to stop there. I'm on page 181, but next episode will start on 182. On chapter 22, use physical lures. But again, my name is Mistress Lavender. Thank you so much for joining me. And make sure to read, drink water, and eat today. And obviously send me money, because obviously I'm the best person you ever made in your life. Bye. See you in the episode for real. Follow me. Like, I'm being so for real. I'm not playing these games with you. I'm reading every day. Okay, somewhat every day. Love you guys.